Now, from the desert's news leader, this is Eye on the Desert from News Channel 3.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Eye on the Desert. I'm Patrick Evans, and we're so glad you could join us today, featuring a local musician who's also a good friend of mine. He's keeping the music going despite the fact that there are no live performances. He even managed to snag an invite to play at a birthday party for the Kardashian family. Let's check out our interview with Rick Ross.
It is my pleasure to welcome my friend Rick Ross to Eye on the Desert today. Rick, welcome.
Hey, Patrick, thank you for having me. Good to see you.
I wanted to bring you on because you, like so many musicians, there are no live venues to perform, but you found a really unique way to stay connected with your audience, and a number of people are doing it, but you're doing it very consistently. You're doing these online virtual concerts. How often do you do them each week?
I do them twice a week on Thursdays and Sundays. I schedule it for 2 hours, but it ends up going a little later every time because I enjoy it.
You have an opportunity that way. I know that you are looking at the setup and you can see the folks making comments on Facebook. So you're responsive to them. You play their requests. How hard is that when you're not physically in the room with the audience?
It's a little bit harder because it's distracting from the camera because you like to stay engaged with the audience by looking at the camera, but also you got to look at all the messages that are coming in and the requests. But that's kind of the nature of the beast, and you kind of learn to multitask and roll with it, and they understand it. Hey, I got to read your comments in order to know what you want to hear. So it's fun.
Like most musicians, you're not deriving any income from gigs. So you put up a virtual tip jar. Has that been effective? Are you getting good response on that?
It really has. I was surprised, I mean, it's a fun way of interacting with people, and they send me such nice notes about how much they appreciate being able to see me perform because they can't go out and see me, or I'm meeting new people that I'm getting referred to. And those that can send a nice donation. And of course, I don't expect that from everyone because some of them are probably in the same boat that I'm in.
Although now I will say you don't have any regular gigs, but you did score what I think is one of the coolest gigs around. You just played a birthday party for the Kardashians.
I did. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I tell you.
Tell me how that came about.
It seems like feast or famine. As soon as you think that nothing's going to happen until at least January. But I got a call, and it was their people, and they were telling me about this party they wanted to put on for the grandmother, and whom I've known for several years, and she would be very surprised if I were to show up and be performing in Los Angeles for her birthday. So we made it all work out. It was a fantastic surprise. I couldn't believe she cried. I mean, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Of course, I got to meet everybody too, and that was a big kick for me.
And we have a couple of the pictures that you posted. And I know it was super private before the event, but afterwards you were free to talk about. One other quick question though. There were lots of precautions. You got an instant COVID test right there before you were allowed to go in, correct?
Amazing, right? First of all, I pulled into the driveway up to the gate, and there was someone there to take my temperature with one of those little temperature guns. And if you passed that, then you got to go inside. And then there was a guest house where they had set up for the rapid COVID test, the 15-minute test. And if you were, then you went from the test to a holding area. And then after the holding area, if you were approved, then everything was good. And everyone there went through that same procedure, including the staff, of course, who wore masks. And so it was a very safe environment.
It's the only way to do things these days. And I wish everybody had the resources to do that, because then we could all get together again. Rick, thank you so much. Congratulations on that gig. And tell folks again, you're playing every...
I'm playing at 6 p.m. every Thursday and Sunday. You can find me, Rick 5 Ross is my handle on YouTube. Find me on Facebook as well. I believe this is going to be the wave of the future, because who knows when live music is really going to come back, if ever as strong as it was in the past. So look for me.
All that information so people can find you. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to see you. Hi to the family.
I thought it was amazing, the part about the story where they had an instant test, and of course the party itself for the Kardashians' grandmother was outdoors, but everybody had to be tested before going in, not just the guests, but the staff and Rick as the entertainment. Pretty cool stuff. But if you want to check him out, he'll be performing live this evening on Facebook, and so many of our musician friends around the valley are doing that. And if you have an opportunity, you can tune in, and I know that a lot of them are putting up the virtual tip jars. Remember, our musicians, because there are no live performances, they're out of work, all uniformly. So if you can make a donation or a little tip, that'd be greatly appreciated. That wraps it up for the Eye. Angela, Jeff, and I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.